Diary entry number 6. It's been a few days since sharing around the arrival and attainment journey of transcendence, and it feels like a important point of time to share in the awareness. I'm not really sure what to say other than the last few days became busy, and the focus was shifted out of my own journey into my partner's journey, who went through his own illumination, of course, as we're choosing to do this together, and came into the full illumination of self. And illumination is what you would say is enlightenment. Now, enlightenment is not light, and that's the confusion we have, as we believe that enlightenment is this experience of going up into the light and relinquishing the dark. It's actually not. Illumination and enlightenment and this transcendent journey is meeting yourself in all directions, seeing yourself in all directions, and then becoming at peace, purification, and love with all of yourself in all directions. When you hear the reason why your descended self or your shadow self or your not self is there, when you ask it what its role is, what its job is, when you see it in clarity, you're able to guide it into another path. So a lot of the descended expressions of ourselves believe that there's a need for death or dissension to rebirth or to return to God, to source, to complete. And that's not the actual truth. And so the confusion happens within the internal psyche of constantly needing to die and constantly needing to go into the depths of hell to try and find God, because that's what it knows. So it needs to be taught and guided through different pathways to come up. And so as his final shadow or unseen expressions are moving through the physical body and restoring his through that illuminated expression, when he's in the illumination, he knows everything, he sees everything, he's with everything. Soon as he steps out of the illumination, holding the perspective, the attained state, that's when the other things come through. And so arrival and then attainment, you can arrive but not attain. And so that's what I'm explaining here, is that we've been arriving into our own individual interpretations of reality, of self in its fully illuminated state, in all directions of that toroidal field, all dimensions of seeing truth for what it is. Yet if there is aspects of the cells in the body, if there's aspects of influence, so a big part of my journey has been the realization that there's been a lot of influence in my physical body, a lot of influence of energy, of these unmet expressions of my partner that I couldn't see, right? Because I wasn't communicating enough with my body, with my cells. Because when I close my eyes, everything's clear. When I close my eyes, it's all space, there's nothing there. But the body itself was having a different experience, and it was going through that purification, in which you would have seen in earlier diary entries, if you found resonance to this, is that the body was releasing the cells that had different belief systems. Now, because of the specific arrival that I'm coming into, which is the state of the 0 point field, that means no I am. I release the I am. I've used I am a whole journey to attain something, to chant something, to become something, to vibrate at something. So releasing the I am statement completely, no longer using I am, and this beautiful sacred trinity, and coming beyond even that, or before even that, and the release of the oneness perspective, the release of the we are in union with life's perspective. All of those things have now become a contraction in my field, because they are a perspective, they are a identity, they are a interpretation of life, and the 0 point field is nothingness, nothing. So I've had to move through where I've allowed, through those points of view, through those interpretations, those expressions that are in my experience of my matter, my fields, my experience beyond what I would call the mental, spiritual, and the emotional expressions, but like in the auric field, in the astral, there's these different layers where little tiny areas are entry points to allow disturbance or influence or a weakness of instability. And so because of the divine union and the being in emergence and in love with all things, that has become the point of entry, because that's not the 0 point field. So I know this is a very high level interpretation, and so I'm going to share a little bit about how this would look in a lower realm of attainment, so it's more relatable. Is that each layer of self will hold different weaknesses, each layer. So if we look at the layer of the physical, you've got the physical body, you've also got the cellular body, you've also got the flesh body, you've also got the avatar itself, you also then have your circuitry system, you also have your light body, you have your astral body, you have your ethereal body, you have the plasma body, you have your auric field, you have your descended self, your ascended self, you have your inner reality, you also have your field of your outer reality, of your toroidal field. So these are layers of you, and we often are not focused on all of them, and we miss them, and there's things that keep coming up and need purification because they're in an area that we're not looking at. It's causing disturbance from a field that you haven't yet either discovered or you haven't yet understood. And each attainment level will ask for different fields. The higher dimensional attainment, or the furthest expression of reality that you could perceive from the point of existence to the point of extinction, that's the everything and nothingness, right? But what if you were going from creation to destruction, or from birth to death, right? Or you are going from light to dark? There is going to be different realms of energy or self that work in that, but they all do. But you may not become aware of them until you get to a higher point of dimensional realization of self. And they all have to be completely purified to the point that you're choosing attainment at. So for that interpretation, that understanding is, if you were going from light to like you were transcending light and dark as a concept, and attaining beyond that into what you would consider unity, or beyond polarity, beyond dualistic thinking, you're going to require to look at all of the realm of self that has existed in duality, which is the form, the mind, the spirit, the soul, the emotional bodies, the different physical bodies, the ethereal light bodies, the vibrational bodies, the sound bodies. Right? So all of these have to come to the full purification. Not all of us are choosing that path of attainment by going straight up to be instantly purified, because we have very real world life realities. And if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll see that this is why we have monasteries, temples, because when you're going through this, if you were to go into one big blast of purification through all layers of what I've just shared, you're not able to function. Your eyes can't even open properly, which you might be seeing now. And that was just me completely purifying 40% of my physical body in a hour process. That was a lot for me, and I have done a lot of this work, and that happened last night. Was my body was like, no more, we need to get all of this out now as quickly as possible. So now I'm going through a rapid physical detox, which is unusual way for me to walk my path now, because normally a rapid physical detox means colds, it means fatigue, it means that you can end up on the toilet, all of those things. But it became more detrimental to do it through ease and grace than to go, we need 40% of this out now and full purification of the body. So that's what I went through, was the full purification. But like my everything is so heavy and slow, and I can feel everything moving, and the cold symptoms, the sore throat as the energy moves, the bowels are moving, and just like the ability to actually move is very limited. So I'm going to be bathing today in a bath and assist, and probably doing not very much at all. Thankfully it's a Sunday and I don't work Sundays, but this is not the final stage. The final stage is that I still have to bring the field to the 0 point, and the expression of the what else is there? 2 other things. So there's 2 other areas of information within me that need to be brought to the 0 point. So the field is one. The hologram of reality requires to be reset to the 0 point. And the time-space continuum. Now, it might be as simple as me asking them to go to the 0 point at this point, yet it feels like there might be a few little moments of reset. It also feels like if I did all of those things right now, if I sat and did them right now, I'm already very, very, very exhausted, and my partner's now going through this. He was supporting me initially. Now I'm supporting him because I know this path. He doesn't know this path, so this is new for him. He doesn't know how to communicate with the layers. He doesn't understand what's coming up through his body in big, fast, what feels like reactions or strange things as it purges out of the physical cells. It's like being in a state of overwhelm, hallucination, and rapid fire release, which is what's required when you want to attain, because you know that it is more beneficial for you, it is more true for you than doing the ease and grace. And this is where we need to let go of the story that we always want ease and grace. That's not the truth. The truth is we want what is of the highest good for all beings. We want what is of the highest good of our sacred heart. We want what will provide the most contribution. And sometimes that's doing it hard, fast, and gnarly. That doesn't always mean that it's going to be this beautiful, enlightening experience. And without these reference points, and while the body and different aspects are still on a different reality, because that's what's happening. All of those layers that I just shared with you, some are functioning from the old reality, some are functioning from the new reality. So there's the between worlds until all of your pieces and parts come into the new reality. Now, for my beautiful beloved, he's arriving into the illumination of God consciousness, right? So that's a 12th dimensional illumination from the point of what you would consider the beginning of the void into 1D. So you've got void into 12th, which provides a level of God's knowing, God's connection, God's presence within, God's presence. You are what you see. I am you, you are me. That is what he's experiencing. Now I'm deconditioning myself from all of those things and the beautiful gifts that they were, which was I was very attached to. But that means that when you're looking at that reality, there's the necessity to purge all the areas that are not God, all of the areas that are demonized, but then not seen in the love of the truth of God's eyes, in lack of information. And so it's a big journey of turbulence. And knowing him, he does this very quick and fast. And knowing myself, I tend to know that I can support myself. And so based on that, I will stretch to the edges of my capacity all the time. I won't ever go over them anymore. I never, ever, ever meet past my boundaries of limitation, but I will go right to the point that I can, because I know how to bend time and space now. I know how to maneuver reality now. I know how to support me and other in that fullest capacity without causing myself to burn out or overload or get sick, right? So even though I'm feeling this physical purge, I know that I'm not going to get sick because I don't create that experience, but I am feeling that, oh yeah, well, today's a rest day and we're going to move through this as quickly as possible, do what we need to do, herbal teas, baths, rest, and speak into the cells to get it through as quickly as possible, so that then I'm able to meet my chosen Sacred Heart's commitments in my responsibilities for others when the work week starts. So I hope that this has provided a lot of information in relation to transcendence and arrival, and the interpretation and the conscious understanding of the education of this, because this is, you can see this in many ways. What I just shared with you is prime support for self-realization, is to start to see yourself as a multi-dimensional being, and that no matter how much you try and bring all your parts and pieces together, they are still parts and pieces, because that's how this reality works. Is I can transcend the light body and not be ruled by my light body, or purify my light body, but I still have a light body. I can purify my heart chakra and bring my channel into one full pillar of white light, but I still have the center of my being the heart, right? So the transcended state doesn't mean that it disappears. The transcended state just means that you're no longer controlled by that functioning reality, that you're no longer controlled by the soul, you're no longer controlled by three-dimensional human thinking. It doesn't mean that you don't think like a three-dimensional human. That's the key to see these. It's the key to understanding that you transcend something, it doesn't disappear. You transcend your human mind, you're still a human being. You're just not controlled by human mind. You transcend and go back to God, source. Doesn't mean you transcend this reality. It means you become one with God, source, here, now. So I love you, I love you, I love you. If this is a video that really resonated to you, please definitely come and witness and receive the other videos that have been here and sharing. And yeah, until next time, Adonai.